Menstruation.
Periods.
Chums.
That time of the month.
Going cray-cray.
All are things that mean the same thing. It means my poo-poo is emitting a blood supply because my uterus is sort of salty that I did not give it a fertilized egg this month because it was feeling kind of homely
Yeah.
for to raise a baby. And who has to bear the wrath
The
of
rot.
it? Me, Sakshi Shivdasani.
And me, Naina Bhan.
And a lot of you.
If you are not the guy who comments, what is this shit? Who gave them a mic? So let's get into this episode on periods.
I was only 9 actually when I got my period, and I was so irritated. Like, I wanted to slap somebody. I was like, I'm not ready for this. Please give me 2 to 3 business years and then check back with me. But by the time I was 13, I was a pro at menstruating because of how early I got it.
Wow, I had the exact opposite experience because I was the last girl in my grade to get my period, and I thought there was something wrong with me. The more it got delayed, I was like, am I not a woman enough that my period refuses to come? And I remember when I got it, like I was so emotional. I called up my best friend. I was like, it finally happened. Yeah.
Really? I cannot imagine one positive thing to come out. Like, I had a girl in my grade who was also like, "Ah, my period hasn't come yet," and every time I would look at her and I would just fantasize about slapping her because I'd be like, why do you want this?
Yeah.
But I get that it's like everyone's gotten there and you just can't
Yeah.
get
In
there.
retrospect, I'm like, yeah, I wish it had taken
Yeah.
even more time. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, now this is what it is.
Look, I just thought that I did not deserve it at the time that it came because 9, and my sister was 1 year older than me, and she got it at the same time as me. Like, we were just like a month apart for our period onsets, and I was just like, why?
Yeah.
Why is this happening to me? And I remember I was in school when I got it. I wasn't even at home. And I cried because I was like, nobody else my age has gotten it. So why me? And
Yeah.
then, like, I got to go to the doctor's office at school, and then they sent me home. And my mom was like, oh, you got your period. And I was like, just sobbing the whole night. I was not happy about it.
I remember when I got my first set of cramps, I was like, I am doing this as a sister. I'm reporting to the army. I have gotten my period and now I have to face this cramp, which is my duty as a woman on this earth to have. And then it just got like, it got old so quick.
The novelty of the situation
Fully
died.
died. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My flow, what it used to be like the first day was chill, and the second and third day was a nightmare,
Mhm.
and then everything after that was a party.
And now?
Now it's like the first day is bad, and after that it's a party. Yeah. What about you?
So interesting. Second day is hell. I'm a mid-flow gal, and I have to tell you that as you grow older, your PMS goes batshit. Like,
Really?
I think that there is not a time in the month when I'm not having some effect of my period. My PMS lasts like 2 weeks, and then my post menstruation lasts like 2 weeks. There's 2 days in the middle when I'm like running my life because I'm ovulating and I'm like goddess energy.
Feeling like a ballerina.
Otherwise, I'm Britney with her head shaved outside the
Oh, damn.
with the umbrella. Like that is how I feel at all times.
Dude, I also realized that I'm a stereotype of my PMS cycle. Because, sometimes you go get your upper lip done and it doesn't hurt at all. And then Flo sends you a notification that now's the time to get your beauty treatment done because your pain tolerance is higher. And I thought I just mastered my I just thought I'd evolved into a painless
I
human.
have never had this experience or awareness.
Really?
Yeah, Flo never sends me this update.
Oh, no, every month, like right around the time you're ovulating, is your time to shine. If you want to do like waxing, upper lip, everything, that happens only in those 3 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I like to like sit with Flo on the day that I'm getting my period and like go through the checklist and be
Symptom.
like bloated, gassy, angry, irritable,
Constipated.
constipated. I'm like, I got it all. Yeah.
I was trying to track my migraines through Flow,
Mhm.
okay? And I get like the worst migraines. I get them multiple times a month. So for 1 month, I diligently sat and I tracked my migraines. And then, like, I thought the next month they'll tell me, like, you are expecting a migraine. But turns out I only get migraines because of acidity. So this had nothing to do with my period cycle. Flo was just like asking me like, "Do you have acidity?" And I was like, "Yuck! What an uncool problem to have." But I'm just a acidity migraine kind of
What a
gal.
hot girl thing. I think all hot girls have IBS.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm a
They just
hot
can't
girl.
digest food without
Dude,
any problems.
you ever go out for dinner and you walk out 4 months pregnant? Because same.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm expecting my period tomorrow if all goes well. I hope. I haven't been as upset as I usually am. So maybe a little one is on the way.
On the way.
No, don't even say that. Tutu.
I feel like through history and through time, periods have just taken such a tumultuous journey from
Fucking for
like early
sure.
times when like it was almost believed that period or her period blood could destroy harvest
Huh.
to being like one of the earliest scientists thought that the cure to PMS if it got really bad was to just remove the entire organ altogether.
You're joking.
Yeah, to being like okay even in Indian customs and traditions, right, you as traditionally women are not allowed, it's a moment of rest, you're not allowed to go into the kitchen, etc., etc. It's meant to be that,
They need time to kind of recover from it because they're feeling slightly sick
which
during the
is
time.
fine.
Yeah, but
But when it goes into that whole thing of when you touch a woman on her period, you
you
are
have to
suddenly
wash your
impure,
hands or some
or they
shit.
can't
Yeah.
touch the food that's being cooked,
Yeah.
or visit certain places. That's where it the like the information
Yeah,
starts
I
getting
feel like
warped.
it's been taken, like they've cherry picked like the stuff without understanding it, right? So now it's like sleep on the fucking floor. And it's like, where the fuck did that come from? And people are still doing it. Like, I remember there was a girl in my school, and I was at her house once, and she was like, listen, can you go get XYZ from my kitchen? And I was like, bitch, it's your house. You go do it. And she was like, no, I'm on my period. I can't enter the kitchen. And I was like, huh? Like, for example, in earlier days when there was like a festival in the house or something, the women used to do a lot of the work. But when they were on their period, they were feeling slightly unwell, right? Because periods do that to you. Like, it's unrelenting physical discomfort. So they were told to relax and like chill out, and everyone else would handle it. But that's been warped, taken, and been like, yo, don't attend this festival because you're on your period. Yuck. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like,
So yeah, so then there is exactly that there becomes a perception of sin, of dirtiness,
yeah,
and it all kind of culminates and over time has passed into women just feeling really embarrassed by something that actually is the most beautiful thing in the
yeah.
world,
I
because you
wouldn't say it's the most
I mean,
beautiful
it
thing in the
leads
world.
to it leads to some of the most beautiful moments in your life. And there's always
Huh.
like this, like the balance between society trying to be like, okay, a woman is a gift because she is a mother, and don't touch a woman on her period. Like, make it make sense. Which
Pick a
one? Pick
lane.
a lane for real. And like it's been associated with magic, black magic, nazar, this,
Yeah.
that. And I can totally understand a 13-year-old girl all hopped up and
Yeah.
confused about how she's meant to be feeling.
Dude, also, I don't know if this was a universal thing, but people used to be like, oh, period blood is dirtiness leaving your body. Where the fuck did that come from, right?
Yeah,
Like, why is it dirtier than other blood? Like, it's just blood
it's
is
just
blood.
blood.
Yeah.
But still, like, even to this day, I feel very embarrassed, or I think twice when I stain, or when I'm on my period. Okay, things like, okay, handing me a pad or handing somebody a pad is still okay. But if you, like, have you ever been in a cab and you kind of stained?
I have not, but I imagine that would be mortifying.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is mortifying. It's more mortifying than if I got a cut in a cab and my arm bled onto the seat. How do I don't know. It's just me. Like, I feel
No, that's
strange to
fair
tell.
because I feel like you for years it's like staining was the worst thing possible, like through school and all of that. Like if I stain my skirt in school, I would be so embarrassed. I would like tie a hoodie around or like carry a hoodie in Mumbai summers to school just because like I was on my period, and like sneak into the bathroom in lunch to change my pad and like hide it in my pocket and all of that. So I get why like now also that carries forward. Also, like maybe the men in my life are comfortable talking about
Exactly.
periods,
Yeah.
but like I do not believe that every man in this country is comfortable talking about it, and cab drivers are men, so it's
Yeah.
like maybe they'll just think you're like some like,
Yeah.
ew, get out of my cab vibe. So I would be like, I get that. But somehow I always just stain myself and I've never stained a surface in
Hmm.
recent years. So I don't know. I use tampons. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
I don't know. I've just been afraid of tampons since like toxic shock was a,
Syndrome, yeah.
yeah. I I would love to use a menstrual cup, but I feel like it requires a lot of maintenance. And I think it's unfair for women to have a carbon footprint because they have a period. Because, like a pad, a synthetic pad takes like some 150 years to decompose.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel like shit because I have to wear that pad,
Yeah.
and I can't do anything about it, but I'm also adding to the gunk that's in the world anyway. So I
Yeah.
do really like organic pads. I know they're a little bit more expensive, but they also feel more comfortable. Like I remember growing up wearing synthetic pads and I would get rashes in the summer and it was the most uncomfortable experience.
Yeah.
And now that's kind of changing because people wear organic pads or menstrual cups, and somehow the tampons in India are so fucking strangely shaped. Like in the US you get those really thin,
The applicator
yeah,
ones.
applicator ones, but the Indian ones, ABC,
That's the best.
it's like a
OBC.
OBC, it's like a bullet, like it's thick,
It's the
it's a
best
cartridge.
tampon ever. First of all, it's more plastic.
Yeah,
Secondly, if you don't get it right, you can literally fuck yourself with
yeah.
a applicator tampon. And at least the ones that I've tried don't have that good absorption. Like these cotton cute OBC ones. Don't ever say anything about my
Okay,
cotton OB.
fine.
No, no, no. But
I'm just scared of like toxic shock because I have friends who have literally forgotten their tampon inside their bodies,
really,
like for a couple of days, and then they're like, oh shit.
oh my god, your friends need to get it together.
Yeah, when I saw the message, I was like, dude,
What's going
what the fuck?
on?
How is
No,
that
so
possible?
I put like alarms on my phone during the last few days of my period because it is easy to forget. So I'm just like, it's been 6 hours type ka alarm because I'm also scared. But for me, like I just cannot use pads. I've the synthetic ones, like you said, I'm allergic to. So I just had to stop. And the the organic ones, I tried a couple and I didn't like them for whatever reason. So I tried a menstrual cup for the first time in 2023, and my dumbass decided I have a long flight. I will try it on this flight because who wants to go to a fucking airplane bathroom to change your tampon or your pad, right? Except nobody told me, but there's a huge learning curve with menstrual cups. So I did that fucking cup origami and shoved it inside, and I didn't feel it. But I went to like pee during my flight, and I don't know, it was like a fucking waterfall, but just blood instead of water. And it was just like gushing. And I was like, wait, what the fuck happened? So TMI guys, but I fucking go fishing inside, right? I'm like, what's wrong? The cup had turned. I don't know how, but it had just fucking turned and it was just pouring all the blood out. And I cried in the bathroom because I was trying to take it out, but it was just getting so messy. And I didn't have a change of clothes because I'm not a 3-year-old. I don't carry a change of clothes for a flight. And I was just like sobbing in the airplane bathroom trying to fish this out. And then I finally did, and I fucking threw it in the trash and I put on a tampon and I marched out of the bathroom. And after that, I have not had the balls to try a menstrual cup. That'll do
Ouch.
it.
That I have nothing to say. That's wild.
That's a period horror story if you ever heard one, right?
Let me tell you one.
Go for
No, I
it.
can't top that. I can just tell you the most inconvenient place that I got my period.
Go for it.
So in college, I was doing this this project in a jail, where I was making like I designed this workshop on like creativity and empathy, and I was executing it with like 100 like people in jail, inmates in jail, and just as I entered, after you've gotten all your checks and everything done, and I've set everything up, and I've given them this assignment in an all male prison. Period.
Oh my god.
And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do now? So then my friend very sweetly gave me his handkerchief and then a
Oh my
handkerchief and then I rolled it and I wedged it in
Oh
my
my God.
underwear. So you know what? I'll tell you something, which brings me to for ages and ages, women used like random things
Yeah.
as pads. Okay,
Yeah.
they used like husk of corn or whatever. They used like, of course, rolled up like cloth and
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
In 1931, women step into the workplace. The workplace being World War and them being nurses in the World War medical camps.
Right.
And in those camps, they realize that if we use these bandages that we're using to plug, like,
blood, yeah.
we're using to plug
Wounds.
injury and wounds with, if we repurpose it and we use it for our periods, it might be more effective than whatever rags
Right.
we have going
Yes.
on. And so in 1931, the first sanitary pad was born because it took a
Huh.
woman 5 minutes in the workplace to figure out a fucking solution that changed the world forever.
Bro, for sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, that's all it took.
Yeah.
It was just a little,
She just needed to be stimulated mentally.
yeah. And that
That's
was
hot.
it.
My grandmom was also almost alive. My granddad was alive, actually. They had a 15-year age gap. Unrelated.
Your granddad's like, the first pad is born. A momentous moment in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A momentous moment.
Yeah.
No, speaking of my grandmom who
Yeah.
had 2 children, what's the birth control?
Top marks. Sakshi is following my very strict code.
Smooth segue.
Yes,
I
smooth
would like
segue
to
into
call
birth
it.
control. Have you ever used birth control?
I used it for 2 years. I put on 7 kilos. Unhappy. The journey gave my body those childbearing hips that I can't shut up about.
Yeah.
But I actually stopped it because I was getting really depressed. Like I was getting like periods where I was like really, really low, and I did a little research, aka used Google once, and found out that that is a side effect of birth control, along with like 500 other things. I used like oral birth control for context. And then I was like, fuck this. Like, I will never do birth control again. Like, at least the hormonal pill popping, it's just not worth it for me.
Yeah, I'm very suspect of any pill popping during your periods. I luckily, it's not so bad. Like for a lot of women who have PCOS or endo, I can
Yeah.
understand. I can't even understand your plight, but I'm just really suspicious of using like Meftol and things like that during my period. Firstly, we don't have a dedicated period painkiller in
Yeah.
India. Not there.
No.
Let's use
Yeah.
this stomach spasm medication and let's not confuse it or even like try to, innovate one level further.
But it is a muscle relaxer. That's what it's supposed to do, right? I'm also like I'm for Meftol and all of that because the first sign of a cramp and I'm out.
Yeah.
I do not want any discomfort. I'm popping that pill and I'm taking a fat nap
Yeah.
because I can't handle it. Okay, my period cramps are really fucking bad. But I will say Meftol is like God's gift if you actually have really bad cramps. Like it relaxes your muscles like four Swedish women are massaging you at the same time.
I have never had this experience. Maybe I don't know, having like fake medicine. I don't think so. I just like use a hot water bottle.
Huh.
And then last month I burnt my entire leg
Right.
because I
Yeah.
just dropped all the water on myself, which was really fun when you're living alone and you have no help and you're alone
Oh
in your
no.
apartment and you're bleeding and then you're like fully burnt down the insides of your legs from my thigh to my ankle.
You know, Naina had this, and we have another girl on our team, Natasha. She had the exact same experience within a week, and I was just like, pop that Meftol, babes. What are you guys doing?
You know what? You shouldn't pop too much. And I feel like I don't know why people don't read the packaging or the label. Maybe because the medicine looks so cute because it's got a little butterfly on it.
Yeah,
Fucking eye pill.
bro, fucking eye pills. Everyone that's sexually active has at least taken one eye pill in their lifetime. Correct
Yes,
me if I'm wrong.
with you.
And it's the cutest fucking pill in the world. First of all, why is it so big? It's like Cadbury size.
The box.
Yeah, the box. Then you open it, and the strip is also that big with one singular pink butterfly pill,
Yeah.
which is it's so small. It's like the
It's like half
homeopathy
a,
goli.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's that small. And it looks so cute. It looks so harmless.
Yeah.
You pop one, your entire fucking month is ruined. Your periods are gonna come with a vengeance. Your mood is gonna be fucked. You're gonna fight with your boyfriend. So next month you don't have to think about popping an eye pill because no sex, no eye pill. But it is the worst. I've popped it 7 times in my life. Very incredibly stupid, but you want to know something more stupid?
Sure.
I popped 3 out of the 7 eye pills when I hadn't even had sex.
You want to know something? I feel like all women have a similar story because 71% women report of having no understanding of their menstruation before their first period. So I can only imagine how many women have an understanding of what the fuck you're supposed to use an eye pill for
Yeah,
and have no understanding of what gets you pregnant and what fertilizes an egg.
facts. But I was not the dumb one in this situation. Allow me to
Yes,
explain.
please.
I had an ex boyfriend who was really paranoid about me getting pregnant. We've never had sex, but he was convinced that because he came, no
Like in a
penetration.
different
In
room.
yeah, in fucking Fiji.
Yeah.
Thinking of me. I had to
Yeah.
pop the eye pill. No, like we'd be messing around, we'd be
Yeah.
a little kissing here and
Yeah.
then he had a no masturbation policy, whatever. He would come really fast. Sorry, friend, if you're watching this. But he would be like, no, I'm really stressed out. You need to take an eye pill. So I used to be like, what is worse for me? This guy bitching and moaning for 1 month or an eye pill. But it was so cute. The packaging was so cute. I was like, this is harmless. I was also 15 or 16. So I just popped that pill.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Do people think that like sperm have like legs, like they crawl up your like spiders into
Like
your vagina?
matcha.
So many times, like I've had a question from a confused, at least like growing up, my guy friends would be really stressed out after
Yeah.
fooling around with their girlfriends, not having penetrative sex,
No.
and then being like, listen, do you think there's a
She's
chance?
pregnant.
It cannot climb up your leg. It's not
Yeah.
King Kong. It's not like trying to mount the tower. Relax.
Dude, men are stupid. I say, being the one that pops 7
Yeah, I know. It was a group effort.
I used to make like a guy friend who had a crush on me buy the eye pills for
Same.
me.
Meanwhile, my boyfriend is sitting and chilling somewhere,
Playing fucking
not
FIFA.
bothered,
Yeah.
watching a Liverpool match. And my fucking best friend, who I would have friend zoned, who loves me, would have come, made the visit to the chemist, grown out his beard to seem older.
This is such a universal fucking experience.
Yeah, but in that way, I do appreciate the men who actually go out and they're like parents. They go out and buy like pads and things for their mom. They've been
Yeah.
educated. It's not like a what is this thing that's
Yeah.
happening. There's a more open conversation around.
I feel like and now it's
Menstruation.
become a lot more like growing up it wasn't that common, but now like also I don't like it when people are using it for social media points because normalizing stuff and glorifying it is two different things.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, "Oh, look at me. I'm such a great boyfriend. I bought pads for my girlfriend." You're a boyfriend,
Yeah.
sure. I wouldn't have the great,
Yeah.
but like go for it. Get those likes.
So I think, and I don't know why this is, but I have never met a boyfriend who has ever like taken like the correct amount of care of me on my period. And I feel like every month when I have my period, I have to re-explain that I'm in pain. And they're like, what happened? Bro, I have cramps. Oh, look through you entirely. Like, and then when you say don't piss me off, it's that time of the month, I'm not feeling good, they will go out of their way.
Double down.
I think they do it subconsciously because it's fucking irritating. And then I look at like Ashton Kutcher in that movie, I forgot what it's called, No Strings Attached. Sushi.
Sushi's such a man. He hates this convo.
In No Strings Attached, he makes Natalie Portman like a period playlist. He buys her like brownies and cupcakes. And I have never had that experience in my
Yeah,
life.
no one has. It's a movie. As an actor, you should know this.
I believed. Hey, that's really important also. Have you ever seen any Bollywood film or Indian film where there is a conversation about a woman having her period or she's on her period? I have never seen it.
Not unless the movies regarding progressive feminism. I have not seen a
Name the
conversation
progressive
about.
feminism movie also.
Well,
Huh.
I've seen movies where people have missed their period because they're pregnant.
Yeah.
And that's about it, honestly.
And to build on that, it's like I haven't really seen a celebrity stand behind like the idea of a period, like communicate about it.
Bad man.
Oh shit, bad man! Akshay Kumar took one for the team. I was
I
like, there has to
know.
be one film. There has to be one film.
Bad man.
But that was literally about a man who made pads,
I mean,
not about a woman who just
well, okay, fun fact. I had gone to this like place on the banks of Narmada River and they were doing this like yoga class there. And the yoga class was being taught by a woman in her 60s. She was American. She had moved to India 30 years prior and all her efforts were going into teaching that small town called Maheshwar about periods. She was educating young girls. She was educating the family of those young girls, the fathers, the brothers, and all of that, about the importance of sanitary pads. All the proceeds from the yoga class went to buying pads for young women there. And she gave up her American citizenship to stay back in India and just like focus
give
her efforts.
back to the
Yeah.
cause.
And I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool, but there was no movie made about her,
Yeah.
this American woman.
The only time I've really seen like any kind of conversation in this direction is when a celebrity gets pregnant or gets married Then the next season, she's the face of Prega Shaw.
Yeah. Yeah.
The end. Like that is the conversation. And that's where it ends.
Why is there no Prega Shaw campaign where the test is negative and they're all celebrating,
Yeah.
you know?
They're like Prega Shaw. Ab hum do se teen ban gaye.
And the chick is always like heavily pregnant when she's recorded it.
Yeah.
Babe, at that point, just tell with your eyes, no?
That's like that Mean Girls thing where she's like, my breast can tell when it's raining. I'm pregnant.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid. Really, it really is. I've been mindful of recently is like properly disposing your pads or your menstrual like whatever aids. Of course, like when you go to a public loo, you please wrap it and put it in the right dustbin. They generally have like an
Yeah.
allocated dustbin. I don't understand people who throw it inside the pot or on the other side, or who don't even have the decency to wrap it and throw it in the dustbin. So you just come into the bathroom to pee, and there's like this pad of blood staring back at you. That being the first one. And second being that when you're in your own house, I feel like it's important to just, you know, like if you broke a glass, you should put it into like a different packet so that when the person who's segregating your garbage
Yeah.
doesn't end up hurting
Right.
themselves while segregating that garbage. It's nice to just put your pads into a separate like packet so that they can just deal with it better.
Yeah, because it is medical waste
Yeah,
technically,
it's
and it's a
biohazard.
biohazard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that, but I feel like no, I get that. I have nothing to
So
say.
in my friend's society, her dad is like the society president,
Yeah.
and
Ooh.
yeah,
Ooh.
and what started happening was that they started finding a lot of pads on the road around the buildings, and when they looked into it further, they realized that the domestic health didn't have a proper provision to discard their sanitary waste. So they were just like getting embarrassed and chucking it out of the windows of the loos. And then it was falling on the streets. So this man went ahead and said, okay, let's give them a provision. Let's also segregate our waste. Let's do green for biodegradable. Let's do black for plastic. And let's do red for any sanitary waste. And he got so much pushback because they were
Why?
like, how can you do this? This is so messed up. What do you mean we're segregating garbage? How can you allocate? And this bag was red, and the red bag became like a issue of discourse, not from the domestic health, but from the families who were living in the apartments who just were not comfortable with the idea of us knowing that a red bag has contains sanitary waste.
That's incredibly stupid
Yeah.
on the part of the families. Like,
And
would they rather have pads being thrown out of windows? Explain yourself, family. I feel like sometimes people are just not in the business of using their brain. Like,
Sometimes,
yeah.
sometimes they really aren't.
Yeah, I don't get it at all because, like, what's the problem?
There's no fucking problem. There's really no problem.
People are just creating, like, they're just bored in their lives. They're like, how dare my staff that I have hired has provisions for a normal bodily function that everyone goes through.
Yeah.
Like, sucks. Why can't they just be robots?
Why can't they just not menstruate if I pay you exactly?
Yeah.
So I'm like in the vein of trying to celebrate periods. So even with the frustration, I want to turn this game into a blow kiss. If you felt this experience,
Love it.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, blow kiss. If you ever stained your favorite pair of underwear.
I feel like it is my fault for wearing my favorite pair of underwear if it's not the first day of my period, but induce my period. Sometimes you just gotta sacrifice your favorite underwear because it only comes when you're like,
Dude,
yeah,
100%. There is something like this, right?
for sure. It's period math.
If you want your period to come, wear the piece of clothing that you don't want to get stained, and it'll just show up.
Preferably white, like a
Mm.
new pair of white pants is the recipe to get your period. It's science.
It's
Quote
all
me on
science.
this.
Blow kiss if you still receive your sanitary pads wrapped in a black packet or a newspaper packet or a brown bag?
Really?
Yeah.
I just stopped. I carry it in my hand. Like, I don't care.
No, I don't care, but they will hand it to you.
Oh. No, they've stopped. I'm like, chalo. Like, I literally stand there like a gunda. Even like condoms and all I ask for, like, I own the place.
Nice.
Like, yeah.
I enjoy that.
Yeah. It traumatizes the shopkeeper a little bit.
Blow a kiss if you've ever used your period as an excuse to get out of like gym or PE or anything like that. And then also blow a kiss if they've forced you to exercise or do gym or PT in school when you've been on your period.
Dude, we had swim lessons in school in the
Yeah.
5th grade, okay? And it was like every Friday, and I had gotten my period on a Friday, and I was like, I'm on my period. And then the next week, my period was still going strong, so I said, I'm on my period. And my bitch PE teacher goes like, how often do you get your period?
Ouch.
I'm like, you want me to throw my pad on your face and show you? Because I wasn't wearing like tampons back then.
That's a great end to this
That's
story.
right.
Okay. Blow a kiss if you get annoyed when someone asks you, is it that time of the month? But then it is that time of the month and you don't want to prove them right. It is the most triggering thing to get the stereotype right.
Yeah. But also, they should not have assumed. Maybe I'm only pissed off because it
They
is that
assumed
time
it.
of the month. But how dare they
How dare
anyway?
you? Yeah. Blow a kiss if you've been to the gynecologist's office and she has used a completely vague term to ask you if you're sexually active and you have been confused. Dude, I went to the gynecologist and she lay me down and she's like, "Are you married?" And I'm like, "No." So then she's like, "Okay, she did something." And then later I was like, I'm sexually active. I have these concerns. She's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "When did you ask?"
never asked.
She's like, "I asked you if you were married."
Oh,
And that was supposed to be code for me to figure out what she was saying.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
Unhinged. Maybe I'm just a hoe. Think about
Yeah,
that.
consider my
Yeah.
thoughtiness for a second.
For
Just
sure.
Take it into account. Okay. Blow a kiss if you've been horny on your period. What is it about the most logistically inconvenient time and horniness to combine?
I feel like it's the thought that you cannot get pregnant. That does it for me.
Some studies show.
I know. But the unlikelihood of it really gets me going. Like, I get a free pass those 3 days. No.
I thought it was a hormonal thing. Like,
For sure. Also,
You-
like, cramps are like orgasms get rid of cramps.
is it?
Yeah.
I thought that was like edibles.
Sure. That too.
So I was on Reddit because I'm chronically online.
I know.
And this one girl, Bechari, she was like, I was having sex with my boyfriend on my period. And suddenly he gagged and removed himself because he's like, your period blood is like stinking. I was like, what the fuck?
I would have thrown hands.
I would have really thrown hands. Dude.
That'd be my ex-boyfriend real fucking quick.
How fucking sick.
Disgusting. I'm so upset by that
I'm really,
story.
Dude, I read it and she was so sad and she was so embarrassed. And I was like, for what?
What was she asking for help for?
She was like, is there something wrong? Does it smell that bad? And then everyone in the comments is like, it smells like iron.
It does smell like iron. It smells like blood. Yeah. I wonder why it smells like blood.
And curiously from my end, blow a kiss if you have the perception that your period blood is somehow dirtier than just like a normal nosebleed or something. Would you be more embarrassed to show a stain from your period versus like a bloody stain from anywhere else on your body?
I don't think it's like, I don't think your period makes you dirty, but of course, since it's coming out straight from a vag, I'm like not thrilled with the idea of showing my pad to someone. But if I do stain, I'm as embarrassed about staining as I am of like other activities out of my control.
Interesting. So,
Yeah.
what if I like? What if you got a little nick instead of it being like your period on your poo poo?
I
Would
would be as embarrassed.
as embarrassed?
Yeah.
Damn, generations
Like
are
if you have
changing.
like a wart on your butt,
Yeah.
you're as embarrassed about it as your period.
No.
No. Are you more embarrassed about your period or
No. The what?
Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But like if I had a wart on my
How
hand,
did this get here? Yeah, I would be less
no, I would be as embarrassed.
as a what on your ass.
Yeah. A wart is a wart is a wart. What?
And that ends the gamified segment of this episode.
Really sucked the game out of this with my wart analogy.
Okay.
Dude, every time I think about period product waste management, I'm like, at least you'll have the option of whether to segregate your waste or no. My fucking dog will go into the trash wherever in the world it is and cherry pick the fucking period products and make it his snack. And I know this is disgusting. And I know
Yeah.
you'll want to hate him right now. And it is all those things. So I do understand the sentiment. But I will say that sushi is the best fucking period tracker there is. If you come to my house and he humps you, which he shouldn't be doing, but if he humps you, you are going to get your period in the next 2 days.
That's magical.
Yeah.
I wish sushi had humped me before my shoot because I went for like when we were doing phone pay and I don't know why it didn't strike me to look at my phone and just see that I was PMSing, but I show up on set and everything is off in my body and I'm having this insane brain fog. Like I've shown up to set, just have to say a simple line. It's the ad that's in the supermarket, and I just can't say my line. Like I just cannot say my line. 1.5 hours have passed. I can't say my line, and everyone is just waiting for me to say this thing so they can wrap and go for lunch. And I'm generally a really strong person, but that day I was in tears. I was above the fake ice cream unit
Oh,
freezer
no.
crying and telling the chief AD, like, please let this prison sentence end. And then I
Oh,
went home that day
no.
and I felt like shit. And I was like, I'm so terrible, how unprofessional. And then I got my period.
Bro, and it happens every month, but like you don't register that this is why you have brain fog and all of those things till you get your
And
period.
every month it's a googly, like one
Yeah.
extra symptom or something that you won't ever see
Expect,
or
yeah.
expect. But that's the thing with PMS. Like there is still no diagnosis for PMS.
Huh.
Like there are 150 symptoms listed, but there's still the it's a free for all. There's
Love
anything
it.
you want to add to it, you can just keep adding, and women don't know what to add, so they all think they're crazy.
That's true. I do think I'm crazy.
Have you ever had that thing where,
That
like, somebody in your life, it's most often a male family member or your boyfriend, comes to you and they're like, don't mind, but like, can I ask you, are you on your period or are you gonna get your period when you're having a moment?
yeah.
And you get so fucking triggered,
Yes. All the time.
and then you're like, don't assume my period.
Yeah.
But then you fucking get your period.
Yes.
It's just the
But
worst.
I still think those are unrelated incidents.
I also think it's like I was framed
I feel like they manifested the period to get away with it.
fully.
Dude, I don't know. Okay, on the interwebs,
Mhm.
you know how like it started with like, oh, it's Shark Week, and then like there was that joke about like, oh, I'ma call my girl my little ketchup packet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has somehow creeped its way into my boyfriend's vocab.
Yeah.
And every month when he says it, I feel like slapping him
I
so
totally
hard.
get it.
Like, because I'll be like, I'm on my period, and he'd be like, oh, can I squeeze you, my little ketchup packet?
Why is it that when you're on your period, it's the hardest time to get a straight hug?
Bro.
You have to beg on your knees to be like, boyfriend, just hug me, just comfort me, get me a cup of tea.
No.
They're
Let
making
me
like your
squeeze
mama
you, my
jokes.
cat.
Yeah, doing shit like this, and I'm like, why? You're making me crazy.
Boys think they're so quirky for real.
That's the manic pixie
Yeah.
moment.
Wow.
Yeah, that leads me to when you go to the gynecologist.
Oh, that led you
Yeah.
there
That-
somehow.
yeah,
That's
okay, you are sexually active, you have a scare, you want to go to the gynecologist. This is earlier in my life, and then a parent wants to accompany you
Wha-
because they're just like, oh, we're taking the kid to the doctor, and I'm like, leave the room. I wanna-
Wait, I'm so confused. You're sexually active. You have a pregnancy scare.
Yeah, but you don't tell your parent that you have a pregnancy.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying in that kind of
Yeah, yeah,
situation,
yeah.
right?
Fair.
Or if you're having, okay, if you have anything, suppose you have, I'm sure a lot of women have felt pain while having sex.
Yes.
So you want to ask the doctor about the
Yeah.
pain, but your parents want to come with you to the
Right.
gynecologist
Yeah.
clinic, and then you're like stuck with no option. And you're hoping that your dad can't hear the gynecologist loudly ask, so what is the problem with your penetration?
Dude, my gynac is the same dude that birthed me. Like, was assisted my mom. My mom
Yeah.
birthed me, but like he was the dude present in the room guiding her through it. So when I went to him last year, he was like,
कितने बड़े हो गए हो? I saw you when you were this small.
and I'm like, yeah, can you prescribe me some birth control,
Yeah.
sir? But it was like so weird because he was like talking to me like I was a child because
Yeah.
he saw me as a literal child. And I just wanted to ask him about like HPV and
Yeah.
like.
Let's get down to
Yeah,
brass
yeah,
tacks.
come on. And eventually he seemed like a nice guy, and I did end up asking him, and he like yeah, I was so fucking grateful to him because he removed my mom from the room and he was like, okay, I know you probably have questions. And then I was in like a rapid fire with him. I was like, I cannot waste 1 minute. And my mom was like, why are you removing me from the room? And he was like, because it's doctor patient confidentiality. Right.
Yeah.
There's a thrift store called Confidential Couture, and I was confused if it meant the same thing. Anyway, yeah. So I went like rapid fire, and then he prescribed me birth control, also saying that I'm doing it for PCOS to my mom, but I
Hmm.
don't have PCOS. He just
What a gangster.
Yeah, I know. What
I
a
appreciate
nice
that.
guy.
I feel I really wanted to make, and I was thinking about it when we were talking about periods. It would be really nice if we could somehow come together with like some kind of directory for good gynecologists in
For
different
sure.
cities. So if you have a good gynecologist, DM us and we'll just put it together and hopefully we can help you out because it's so important to have a good
Dude.
doctor.
Especially like, I mean, with pregnancy scares and all, because you think like if your gynac usually knows your parents, you don't want them finding out about this. Dude, one of my friends used to literally go to like Suburban Diagnostics and under a different name get the pregnancy blood test. And like she would like put a friend of a friend's number and then like it would go through this entire cycle.
That's really
Yeah,
not
I know.
nice.
But
Yeah.
she was so scared that she gotta do what she gotta do.
It's been, I remember in college, one of my friends got pregnant and I had like accompanied her to the hospital and I just felt really bad for her. She had such a bad time because everyone was being so judgmental. They made her feel like wrong about the fact that she was a single woman, she was not married, the nurses were looking at her different. And it was just like such a, like a 19, 20-year-old girl who's anyway like crippling with
Fucking
fear,
scared, yeah.
is then made to feel like othered and shunned and giggled and stuff like that. So it's so important to have a good guy now.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments for real, for real. You never know who it could help. And if you are a gynac, plug yourself.
Yes.
As long as you're not judgmental.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, what do you think about period leaves?
I think they're fucking great.
Yeah.
I think everyone should get one. I know at one office there was a guy who would take off every Monday or Tuesday because he had a back spasm and it was paid for. So if my stomach
Yeah,
is spasming and my vagina is bleeding
for
profusely,
sure. Yeah.
why can't I get a paid leave?
I fully agree with that. I feel like, first of all, when work from home is an option, I feel like it shouldn't even be like, why are you not coming
Contested,
into
yeah.
the office? And even if they're like too sick to work on their period, because it is like, first of all, everyone has a different degree of pain. So just because you are also a woman, like, there are like women that are against period leave also because they have easy periods. But like, just because that's not your experience doesn't mean that doesn't
That
happen.
negates somebody
Yeah, and
else's.
as men, like, if you cannot experience it, then like you can't be like, oh, the it doesn't really happen, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but I've had like some good experiences with generally like my male friends and my like workplace colleagues after high school, where there was a guy who literally punched a girl in the stomach and she happened to get a period. So there was like this rumor that he punched her into inducing her first period. After that, it's been kind of nice. Yeah,
wow, what fucking
after,
school did you go to, bro? I'm never sending my children to this.
yeah, but after that, like, I feel like men have generally in my life been really supportive. Sometimes my dad's like, is it that time of the month or what? Why are you acting like this? And it is, so I can't
Yeah.
really say much.
Like,
But luckily India is like one of those countries that one of the few countries that has abolished the pink tax, has figured out a
yeah,
period
for
leave
sure.
situation.
Yeah.
It's just a social construct that needs to be broken because periods are still such a taboo and there's so much shame around them that apparently women in the workplace should now feel stressed out about other people knowing that she's on period leave, which is like a whole other bakwas.
It's like, the bra strap thing. Just because, like, if I'm wearing a bra and you see my bra strap, what conclusion have you come to? So if I'm on my period and I'm on my period, like, go for it. Why should that why should you view someone different just because they're on your period? Like, the problem is with the
View.
viewer.
Yeah.
I'm so profound. I don't know what I said, because it is now time to end the episode. I am getting a major brain fog because I'm going to get my period tomorrow. Please. But yes.
Yeah. I hope the Russians arrive and I hope you have a lovely, smooth sailing journey through your next menstrual cycle. I hope you ovulate and you glow and you have confidence, and I hope you much
Will
menstrual
you
health.
get me a hamper?
Of course, I'll get you a gigantic hamper. I'll put like a bunch of brownies, some magnolias, German cake, and all the other stuff you like.
Love it. Okay, guys, I'm going to be waiting for this hamper, and you guys wait for the next episode of Moment of Silence Pod, which is next Friday. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.